Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to your English classes. While you are doing your course completely online, I still wanted to take a look at some things on the platform with you just to help you out if you need extra assistance. Today, we're going to be looking at the past continuous, but specifically looking at used to. I know we've been doing quite a few things on the platform, so I'm going to just pick one of the topics that you might have to dive into. I'm going to share my screen, but I'm letting people in. So welcome back, Daniela. Happy New Year. Deanna, Elizabeth, Gabriela, Geraldine, Jocelyn, Kenya, Kevin, Luis, Mariana, Sandra. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Topic that I'm going to be looking at is used to. As you saw on the platform, there are a couple things in this unit that you need to practice. And I'm going to be taking a look at this one. Remember to drop your names in the chat with your groups. So you can just register your attendance. So Danny, write out your full name and your group. And I'll use it as the registry for attendance. Now, I'm not going to work with the platform per se. I'm going to use a little PowerPoint presentation, and we're going to go through this particular concept. Then I'm going to let you go so you can practice on the platform. So full names and original group as your registry in the chat. So here we go. We're going to be looking at past habits with used to and would. And hopefully you can see my screen. All right, so let's start with, see who we have here. Louise, can you read that first one for us? Meet grandma.
Yeah, meet grandma. She's 82 years old. Today she's thinking about her past.
All right. So when we talk about the past, we usually reminisce about things that happened years ago. All right. For example, here, she was thinking about her early days as a child. When she was a child, there were many things that she did often. And to talk about these things, she can use would plus the verb. All right. Ulysses, can you read the first sentence? For example, I would
play in the garden with my brother every day.
All right. So she's talking about a repeated action that happened many times, almost like a 7-day-of-the-week routine. Of course, she uses every day. Maybe it wasn't possible every day, but we surely know that she remembers it being a routine, right? So for the first one, past actions, especially when they're repeated, we use would plus the base form. So would and your verb, no changes to your verb. Let's dive in with a little practice. Jocelyn, what's happening in this picture?
There is a mom and her child.
All right. What do you think the sample sentence should be?
What?
What do you think the sample sentence should be? Pretend you are the little girl. What do you think she is remembering from her past? Remember, you use would plus the base form of a verb.
Will always cook?
Well, we already have cook here, so maybe she used another verb, like I would always help my mom to cook dinner. Repeat.
I would always help my mom to cook dinner.
All right. Daniela, what about this picture? What's happening here?
My mom read me a story before bed.
My mom would read me a story. Repeat.
My mom would read me a story.
Correct.
Before bed.
All right. Diana, next one.
My friends and I will play in the summer.
Correct. All right. So we use would and the base form for those events. But those are routines, repeated things. When we're talking about states or the condition in the past, we can't use would. So we switch out would for used to, right? For example, here in this sentence. Elizabeth, can you read that one for us?
We used to live in a small house with a big yard.
Exactly. So this is the state of their lives years ago. So we can't use would live. We have to say they used to live. All right. So that's the difference between a routine and a state or a condition. And we use this one for all of these. All right. So you might prefer, and actually the unit that's on the platform uses this one more. If you don't want to use would at all, you can use used to for all of them. So you can use used to for the routines as well, and for your past habits, as well as states and the repeated events. Used to is more versatile. So you can forget about would if you don't want to use it and just use used to for all of the examples. All right, Gabby, next one. What do you think is happening here? Remember, you're using used to and your verb. I'm going to also write an example in the chat so you guys can see. Remember, in the chat, I want your full names and your group.
Perdón.
Yes, go ahead, Gabby.
I used to have a dog named Ruben.
Good, correct. All right, guys, drop your names and your group in the chat so I can keep it as your register. All right, so Danny, Gabby, all the rest of you that you're in the room, add your names to the chat. All right, next one. What's happening in this picture? You see the mom and you see the two kids. Maybe this is the auntie, actually. Remember to unmute your microphone, Geraldine. What's happening here in this picture?
We used to.
Try a verb like visit, because maybe you didn't live with your aunt. So we used to visit.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
We used to visit my aunt every weekend.
Every weekend, correct. Next one, Kenya.
There used to play, no. There used to be a park there, now it's a building.
Correct, exactly. The existence of a park occupied this place, now it's not there anymore. So there used to be a park. All right. Now, of course, there are lots and lots of different ways we can talk about the past. And let's now imagine things as they are now, but compare them with the past. So nowadays we have smartphones, we have laptops, we have electric cars, but before we used to have other things, all right? So, Evan, how did we used to travel in the past? Let's say 100 years ago.
In the past?
Yeah.
Bicycle?
We used to travel by bicycle.
Yes.
Repeat, full sentence.
I used to use a bicycle.
All right. Ride. The action there is ride a bicycle.
I used to ride a bicycle.
Good. All right. Luis, do you have a Kindle or do you still read physical books?
No, we'd always read physical books.
All right. So now we have the books on our computers, we have the audio books, but where did you used to read your books when you were a child?
Where did I used to read my books when I was a child?
Where? The location, where?
I used to go to a library, a public library.
To read the books. Good. Mariana. Nowadays, everyone has a cell phone. How did we used to talk to people before smartphones?
From telephones, and
Right? People used to communicate.
people used to communicate with telephones.
All right. Now, everywhere you go, you
No.
see. No? Again?
I know.
Okay. Now, if you look around you, you notice that people live in apartments, and I can imagine that this wasn't always the case. Oscar, where did the Aztecs used to live? Did they live in apartments in Polanco, or did they have another way of living? And remember, as you join the room, add your name and your group to the list. I see some of you have, but some of you have not. Oscar, where did they live?
I live in.
Not you, the Aztecs. They used to live.
They lives.
They used to live. I imagine the Aztecs lived in Teotihuacan. All right, so make a full sentence there.
I don't understand. Acabo de llegar
Yep,
y no.
you're late. So welcome to the fire. The Aztecs used to live in Teotihuacan.
The Aztecs lives
Used to live.
used to live
Where? Where did they used to live?
in Teotihuacan.
All right, now full sentence, fluently. Repeat.
The Aztecs used to live
Mm-hmm.
in Teotihuacan.
All right. Now, that's one of the many empires we had here in Mexico. Sandra, where did the Mayans occupy?
Mayas lives
Used to
live.
live?
Used to live
Mm-hmm.
in Yucatan.
In Yucatan. All right, correct. Sandra, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes.
All right. What about the Olmecs, Sandra?
They used to live in Oaxaca, I think.
No, that was
No.
the Zapotecs and the Mixtecs. No, the Olmecs lived between here and then towards Michoacan. But that's okay.
Okay.
Irving, do you live in an apartment or do you live with your parents?
I live with my parents.
Good. Did you always live in that house or did you used to live somewhere else?
I don't understand, teacher.
All right, you're using used to. So I used to live in Iztapalapa. Did you always live in your current house or did you used to live somewhere else before?
I live in Tlalpan
And before Tlalpan?
and Isidro Favela.
Okay. Now, you live in Tlalpan now, correct?
Sí, yes, yes.
Right. Before Tlalpan, where did you used to live?
Se llama, ¿cómo se dice? CEU, por CEU, pero no recuerdo bien la
Okay.
colonia.
I used to live close to Seoul. Repeat.
I live,
I used to live. You don't live there anymore. In the
I
past.
used,
I used to
I
live
used to live,
near
I live near
Seoul.
CEU.
One more time, fluently now. I used to live.
I used to live in CEU.
All right. And that's what one of the chapters that we were looking here on the platform. Now, if you have been on the platform this year, you will notice that you have a new forum to do. All right, so I'm going to take some time to look at that forum. Remember, guys, you need to be completing your different levels, your different units, as well as completing the activities. So I'm going to go back to the forum I posted for you guys this week. It's from Unit 3. And let me just quickly talk about the instructions. And this is the forum number 3. What do you need to do? You need to create a short story. And you can use pictures from the internet, but you need to use this structure that we're talking about today. Past continuous and use to. I want you to tell us about your life, all right? Now you're going to be recording a video of this story. So you can create it in this particular software, or if you have another one that you like to use, you can use it. The idea is to create a video. Create the video with your short story, and your deadline, I think, is this Monday. Let me just bring up our file, but I think you need to submit it by Monday. Let me share with you your calendar and let's take a quick look at when we need to complete it. So Monday the 18th. So you need to complete this activity by Monday. In this particular unit, you guys should be looking at the past. So if you haven't done so yet, jump online, and what you need to get done is used to, adverbs of time, conjunctions when and while. You already know a little bit about the past, so it should not be difficult to do the forum. And I want us to meet again next Saturday, because we had one extra session that we need to do in January. We need to do 2 of them. So let's meet next Saturday and let's continue looking at the past, and I will preview Unit 4. All right, so if you're not on track, log on to the platform, start doing your work. You need to get all of these done. Share with me your progress so we have evidence of your work if anything happens. And I have graded your exams. If you haven't seen me respond to your email yet, I am still reading some of them. I will respond. All right, so let's have a class next week, the 23rd, and another one on the 30th. All right, so this January, we're going to have 3 classes. In February, we'll only have 1.